Two bears, one cave.
Speaking of strange things, you wanted to talk a little bit about Armie Hammer and Trevor Bauer and what
Yeah. I'm always curious about like the Trevor Bauer thing. You don't know anything about that?
There was a woman that got beat up and then looked back and went, I didn't want that, essentially.
Yeah.
Because this is the problem if you're into aggressive stuff.
I've never been into aggressive sex.
I'm just saying,
ever.
Anyone who is, good on you. But the problem is that you can the threshold between, hey, that's exciting and that's traumatizing, you may not know where that is. And certainly your partner may not know where that is. So you can easily be re-traumatized. And when they're re-traumatized, they're pissed. And they should be, because it triggers horrible, horrible feelings. And I fear that that's something that happened here.
Yeah, what's funny is I have a friend, I'll tell you who it is, but you got to bleep his name out. But bleep it out so that people can guess his name, okay? His name is Armie. And so, but he's always been very open about liking rough sex. And when the Me Too thing started, I was like, hey man, how like you gotta like be careful. And he was like, no, I'm very open with my partner. I share it with them before. This is how I like to do it. But you know, this but that's how it works. And I was like, oh, as very like, okay.
And he's way into that stuff.
Into rough sex?
Listen to some of the upcoming After Darks. And you'll hear a bit about it.
Well, I remember the first person.
He taught me something about my wife, too, which I didn't know.
What did he teach you?
He said she's into that stuff, too.
For real?
Did he not, gentlemen?
How could he tell?
I don't know. He can tell who is in and not.
Wow. Hey, I want him to point. Oh, never mind. And so,
well, I'll ask about Leanne.
I want to have. He's met her. Just ask him real quick. Text him somebody. But I remember one of my buddies, one time when we first moved out to LA, he hooked up with this chick and he had sex with her upstairs on my couch, and I was downstairs. And he came down the next morning. He was traumatized, and he was like, I don't know what the fuck happened last night. And I go, what do you mean? And he was like, we were having sex, and then she asked me to choke her.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was like, you didn't do it, do you? Because I don't know if this sounds really bumpkin-y, but like at Florida State, no one asked people to choke each other. Like that was not a thing. Like I don't remember. I never ever heard smacking someone on an ass cheek was like the biggest you could do.
No.
And you only did that for show so you could tell your friends. And then I smacked her on the ass. I was like, who's your daddy? Or like something like that. And I was like, people like being choked. And he was like, I guess. He was like, I'll never fucking be around that girl again. He was like, it was a trap. It was a trap. That's what they do. They trap you. I tried it a little bit, but I'm not going to do it. And you're like, oh yeah. And then this Trevor Bauer thing, I'm sure this Trevor Bauer guy doesn't want anyone talking about this, but it doesn't look like, I don't know how punching someone in the face can even be construed as rough sex.
You mean why it's included in
how's that included?
How's that
or
sexual?
Punching someone in the vagina?
No,
or
I don't get it at all. I don't get much of any of it, frankly.
So here's the deal. So I don't get it, and I don't get it, and I don't get people that are into it.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
But
that.
we're not judging.
I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
why I bring it up.
But that's where it comes back.
Yeah.
Is that I don't get it, nor do I actually, nor can I approve of it. Same with Armie Hammer, right? I want to eat your whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing that other people that don't get it now throw them out and then shame them for the thing that they like.
Right. By the way, the same people that are doing that are the ones that talk about how we're supposed to be accepting of all behaviors.
Yeah.
Like people, I feel terrible for the Trevor Bauer thing.
Trevor Bauer thing
different.
Is a little,
but Armie Hammer, I actually felt bad for him, and if he has some issue, and I hope he gets treatment for it. But to be ostracized because somebody outed him for some weird sexual whatever.
Well, it seems like he got ostracized for a lot of things. It seemed like he got ostracized because of his family, his name.
Well, that is a big.
Is all this added into one thing.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people of privilege need to be knocked down as hard as possible. And if they give you any ammunition for that, we're taking it. Right?
It's so funny because Instagram is set up to only for people to put out the best sides of themselves.
Yeah.
But then a celebrity accidentally shows you how big their house is during quarantine, like Ellen DeGeneres, and then they're like, fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck her. I want to show you how big my house is, but fuck her for having a big house.
Yeah.
And it's this weird kind of shaming thing going on. And the Armie Hammer one really kind of screwed me up because I was like, I don't know. I didn't read everything. I don't know all the details. But it did sound like it was something he was into.
Yeah.
And I have
or
friends.
at least talking about it, he was into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It didn't even sound like he did anything.
Yeah.
Just, I want to eat your...
Yeah, whatever.
I guess that turns him on.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think he hurt
And
anybody.
you don't get to pick what turns you on. Like
Well-
I'll tell you what really turns me on, and I don't know why.
Besides JD.
Besides, well, obviously, I've told this to Leanne, but like rubber cleaning gloves.
Oh wow!
Like the yellow,
it's like a foot
yellow
fetish.
rubber cleaning gloves.
That's what people. That's what people
pull them up, and I'll try not to get hard.
I'll try not to throw.
And
up.
by the way, there's not enough porns in
There they
yellow
are.
rubber
Look at
cleaning
that.
gloves.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? So that fits with what we think happens with foot fetishes. That the little,
I have a foot fetish too. Keep going.
well, so the little kid is sort of by the mom's feet and is very highly aroused by being around mom, not in an intensive emotional way, not really in a sexual way per se,
Yeah.
but that wiring turns into sexuality about age 12, 13. And so that intensity of mom and the gloves or the feet or what you're near when you're visually getting this material gets converted into kind of a sexual arousal.
I think. Can I tell you where I think my base for the the yellow gloves is? I think superheroes.
Could be.
Like Wonder Woman.
So Wonder Woman had 'em.
Catwoman. Like all the superheroes had gloves
Yep,
on.
yep.
And it could because I also had a thing for like any bondage stuff or quicksand.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
We talked about quicksand.
Yeah.
And
but like it's like those were my triggers where
but
I
they're
would
all
see
TV.
them.
It's all stuff television, age 11 to 14.
For
all of
me,
it.
it was like Wonder Woman
Yeah.
getting tied up, or the
Yeah.
boogaloos, or like
Yeah.
not the boogaloo. Did I say the
This is what we
boogaloos?
ended up talking about last time.
Yeah,
which
and
was-
so I can't control that. I don't know why that happens to me, right?
it happens to all males that between 11 and 14, the things that they find intensely arousing become preferences. So I told you last time, that's what worries me. They're looking at porn and stuff, horrible stuff. And what's gonna be their preferences out of that? Because if you had porn, Wonder Woman's gloves wouldn't have been so interesting to you. You know what I mean? You had other arousing images that would have superseded that.
Oh my god, I just realized that. Yeah, if I had seen porn,
Yeah. Then,
whoa, that's crazy. So I was looking for sexuality.
correct. I did. How about Genie? I Dream of Genie. You know, that's where a lot of guys, a lot of young teenagers, that was their thing. Or this was the image they could get.
Oh my god, how beautiful and innocent, and how sad that we've lost that, because now kids just see fucking just hardcore cream pies, and they're like, that's my thing, is watching cum drip out of a woman's pussy. I don't know where it came from.
And we don't know yet what the impact of that's going to be. We have no idea.
Oh my God.
It seems like, by the way, one of the things that's happening is creating a certain amount of aversion. You know, and maybe it's adding to all the gender stuff too. Maybe it's adding to the gender confusion.
Oh, you definitely know if you were bisexual now,
Well,
because you
also,
could watch everything.
I've heard some women, I've literally had them, and I'm not saying this is the cause of, this is a source of gender fluidity or anything. I'm just saying I have heard this, that some women will say that are now transgender, that they saw porn when they were 11 or 12, but I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to be a woman. I have to subject myself to that. No way. I'm not a woman. I must not be a woman because I don't want to do that.
Well, I was thinking the exact opposite. How cool would it be to not know anything about sex whatsoever, start clicking videos and find the shit you like and go, oh yeah, it turns out I'm gay. Like, I like these porns the best. Because I cannot watch. There's a part of me that is so old school that I go, I can't watch gay porn. Like, I just can't. I'm not cut from that cloth. Like, I've seen it. I can make jokes about it. Like, it doesn't bother me, but like this, even if I'm like scrolling,
Yeah.
even in my most honest moments, I can't go, and nothing's turning me on. I'm like, I can't find anything. I cannot bring myself to go,
So-
let's just check out the gay stuff, see if that does it. Like, I cannot do it. Just go click, and then go, fuck, that's working. All right, you know?
So I was well, first of all, the images may shape what works too. You know what I mean? What they find they like, they may go further downstream and it might
Yeah.
shape it, which is what worries me. Number one. Number two, I was part of a study once where they did functional MRIs on people looking at sexual imagery. And turns out I'm very interested in heterosexual images of pretty people. But they also put men stuff up there too. And when I was in the scanner, it was a functional MRI scanner, the images would come up. I really didn't have any. I was like, I see what they're doing. They give me, and then I saw my brain in response to it, huge threat response, like threat, like alarm. And I thought, wow, I had no conscious experience of that at all.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
I would do that MRI. I would love to find out what my brain thinks about that. That is.
So it's
it's
sort of an
crazy?
interesting. You know what it is? It's a great model for racism and sexism and all those things to understand that you could have these biases and really not be aware of it. So you got to pay attention.
I wonder. The other day I was. This is all based off of I couldn't find something to jack off to. I was just scrolling and scrolling and everything. I was like, I wish I could clean up my searches. Like I can't anything. There's certain things I just can't.
It's sort of interesting to me that now people are being identified by, well, what do you search for when you do your porn?
No, that's the
what
next
do you look
thing.
for?
Well, this is where the thought came from. This Armie Hammer thing is
Okay.
like, what's
would he look at?
What's going to stop them from going? This is Bert Kreischer's Pornhub searches, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. What the fuck's up with this stepson, stepmother thing?
Right.
And I'm like, that's all that comes up.
Right.
Like that's all that comes up for me is stepmother, stepson,
Right.
Sister, brother. Like that's all that comes up in the things, and I can't, in good conscience, click on it because I don't want to see someone younger fucking someone older.
Right.
And then I was like, and then I realized that if anything that was a big black dick and a chick, I just clicked off immediately. I was like, no.
Does that threaten you?
And well, I then said, hold on. Why is that? What is that? Because
I bet it's the same thing. This threat thing goes on.
I guarantee if you put me in that MRI,
Yeah.
you'd see. But you know what it is? I think the porn industry is racist. I think they don't ever show loving black guy with white chick. They show black guy with white chick going, yeah.
Yes.
Like you say it, suck it, bitch. Like it's never like sweet and loving. It's this like fucking aggression. And I go, and then I was like, oh my God. So if that's what I'm seeing here, how much other programming have they put into me?
Oh, who knows?
Where is like?
And once they get a
is-
hold of AI, watch out, right?
dude, you have me at my most vulnerable. A great place to put information into an unwitting brain. My dick's hard, right? I'm jerking off. I don't even realize information's going in.
Right.
I don't even realize you're doing this to me. And you got me every day for an hour. You got me going on your site. And I was like, this is fucking mind control at its finest.
Does Leanne know it's every day for an hour?
That's not an hour. It's fucking
Does
10 minutes probably.
Does
But
Leanne know it's every day?
no, I don't know if she knows that I jerk off the way I jerk off. Like she doesn't know that it's like I look at it like a treat. It's like a treat.
Yeah.
Where I go,
Oh, you and treats again.
oh,
Here we go.
one of my best feelings.
Treats.
One of the greatest feelings in the world. Tell me if you're not going to identify with this. Nadav, have you ever been like, this is more a comic thing. Sometimes as a comic, you'll like get in the elevator, you'll hit the door, you're going up to your room, and all of a sudden your brain will be like, hey, I haven't jacked off yet today. And you're like, oh, I got a treat coming my way.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, a little
I get
check
that.
off session. I mean, for me, it's if I'm on the road, it's once a day, easily. There's no reason not to.
Are you feel alone, or it's just a treat?
I hope I'm alone.
No. I mean, does it sad? Does it somehow respond? Are you trying to?
No, it's just a treat.
Just treat. Yeah.
Just a treat. There's no connection to it.
Yeah.
It's but that.
And by the way, and this is back to the shaming part we were talking about, and why they shame people for this stuff. There's nothing wrong with any of this, right?
Well, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. But then here's the deal, right? So the other day, I'm on Pornhub, and it's young teen gets blasted or something, and I go, no, I'm not. I can't be a part of that.
Yeah.
By the way, I can't visualize that because I go, that's got to be like just 2 years older than my kids.
Yeah.
And so like, but then I thought, right, how one time Leanne and I were and a friend were cleaning out the friend's boyfriend's apartment. He was out of town.
Boyfriends.
So
Okay.
Leanne's best friend, her boyfriend was moving, and we were going to help them move. He wasn't. He was out of town, and he had a magazine that was called Barely Legal, which, by the way, was a very popular magazine
Yeah.
at a point. And Leanne and her freaked out because they were like, "Oh my God, he's into kiddie porn." And I was like, "No, I wanted to defend him and be like, no, Barely Legal is like, it's just a branding. It's not." And then I didn't say anything because I was like,
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
may
I'm
or
not-
may not be, right?
Yeah, and I was
mean,
like, I'm not going to say anything.
Does the girlfriend look a certain way?
No, she does not look Barely Legal.
Because I'm wondering, because sometimes
She was barely fuckable, in my opinion, and
she's Leanne's
intolerable.
friend?
Now, but my point is, so just as quickly as I was going to defend him in that moment, and was like, hold on, that's just the brand. It's called Barely Legal. Obviously, they're all above age. You couldn't put out a magazine
Yeah.
of underage
But
children.
it's still weird that a guy has a preference of young
barely
looking
legal.
people.
And but it's all over to porn.
No,
If you
I
type
know.
in porn, it's like young teen, young this, and you're like, and I then jumped on their side and was like, yeah, and that's kind of the weird thing that happens with kink shaming is like, what if they came up and they were like, yo, Donald Trump, or not Donald Trump's a bad example. Arnold Schwarzenegger watched a porn that said young teen gets fucked in frat house, and everyone would be like, "Whoa!" and they'd hate him, and I go, that is accessible. You can find that in people's phones, people's digital. That's why I'm never fucking. I don't know what I've Googled online, and if they started finding that for you, that you destroy every man. I would pay money. To be able to see what people have searched for on the internet.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.